Is Ubisoft in bigger trouble than we realize? Well, there's a report going around that is saying Cameron Lee, who's Ubisoft's vice president of Rainbow Six, has left the company. He's no longer with the company. Can we help you with something? This is an interesting development. Now, this is being reported by Tom Henderson at Insider Gaming, who's saying there was an email sent to staff that said, for the time being, the role of VP and executive producer for the Rainbow Six brand will not be replaced. Yikes. This ain't just some regular employee being left. Rainbow Six is one of their biggest franchises at Ubisoft. And at this moment, it's unclear why Lee decided to leave Ubisoft. But if you're looking at everything that's going on with Ubisoft as a company, they literally must be losing money. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But Lee joined Ubisoft back in April 2022 as the vice president and executive producer of Rainbow Six. And at the time, the company said in a press release that Lee would be responsible for creating the long-term brand strategy for the Rainbow Six franchise and aligning and collaborating with all internal partners. Previously, they were vice president of production at Activision, so they're not a slouch. They're also general manager of new IP at Bungie and a lead producer at both BioWare and EA, all the way back to October 2008. So he's been in the gaming industry for quite some time. This is a big loss for the company. Now, he did say back then what drew him to Ubisoft was the priority placed on creativity on a scale not seen elsewhere in the industry and the investment in our top franchises like Rainbow Six to really unleash our imaginations for our players. Well, I could probably guess that his sentiment is no longer the same, considering that now Ubisoft feels like they're more worried about pandering to woke modern audiences with their bullcrap. You look at all the DEI that's been affecting the company, especially with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Big yikes. So what a change just a handful of years makes. You could tell that they're not really placing any kind of priority on creativity. They just want to check little check marks off in the DEI box to get clout for this modern audience that does not show up to support anything financially. That's why Outlaws has barely sold 1 million copies. That's why Assassin's Creed Shadows has been delayed, might even be delayed even further. The stock's at an all-time decade low. So yeah, I mean, honestly, if you really want to sum it down, Rainbow Six was probably one of the last good things about Ubisoft. According to this thing that I'm reading off the Park Place, it says the company reported during its first quarter sales report in July that Rainbow Six Siege had a 34% increase in sessions days and 18% increase in session days per player compared to the previous year. So it actually gained a player base, and that it noted growth in monetization as well. So literally, like the guy, one of the head honchos with Rainbow Six is out, even though they're doing great there. In fact, Ubisoft said this quarter saw Year 9 Season 1 become the highest grossing season in Siege's history, as well as the full release of the marketplace that continued to see a sustained level of transactions. So how does that work? If this is the best season ever in the Year 9 Season 1 history of a game, I don't think all is what seems to be at Ubisoft. Like we've said, they're having problems. It's coming after that announcement that they lowered their yearly net bookings from around 1.95 billion and around break-even non-IFRS operating income and free cash flow. It's also lowered its net bookings for the second quarter by 30% from 500 million to between 350 million to 370 million, and that they said that launch for Star Wars Outlaws was softer than expected. So they definitely took a hit. Again, like I said, the rumor mill is saying the game has only sold 1 million since launch when they were expecting 5 million. They're going to be patching the game and polishing it up, which it should have been polished up at launch. I think a lot of that is attributed to also that Star Wars is a brand that's tainted at this point. But honestly, it's a joke. And then on top of that, you have all the issues with X Defiant. The game is struggling. They admitted it during a trading update call. So who knows what's going to go with X Defiant. And then on top of that, literally, there's investors of Ubisoft begging them to go private or to sell, right? Honestly, it's weird. It's freaking weird. They're literally wanting management of Ubisoft to allow a sale of the company to third parties or private equity firms, because the stock, again, like I said, is at a decade low. Yikes. They previously also called for the CEO to be replaced. In fact, it was in a previous open letter that was out there that was trending for a while. Not enough people talked about it. But again, this article I'm looking at says, we suggest that Ubisoft allow shareholders to vote for new CEO and allow sale of the business to PE groups, or let the Guillemot-led consortium to buy out minorities for fair price. And on top of that, there was a whole call for a total reevaluation of current management. There's a investigation being held by the board right now. This company's a mess as we're speaking. And again, like I said, it's because they're more focused on bullshit like this whole Yasuke narrative that they've been wanting to push for Assassin's Creed Shadows to have. And in the end, they're going to lose more money because they had to delay it. This is money that is going to be probably missed out on. They're literally missing out on holiday season this year. They're planning on releasing it in February. You're missing the holiday season. Now, I know it's probably a precaution to try to make your financial losses look a little bit better, but I don't think there's any saving the Assassin's Creed Shadows situation, because a lot of people are already tuned out for that. On top of that, you have the Star Wars Outlaw situation, but with Rainbow Six, you're reporting all these great stats, growth and monetization, the best year you've ever had, and one of your head honchos is leaving. Was this a salary cut? Did they have to let go of him because they're not making enough money? But the biggest killer is, and we really haven't really touched on it, is the rumor that Skull and Bones cost this company $500 to $600 million, literally telling Concord and Firewalk Studios, hold my beer. If that's any truth to the Skull and Bones rumor, that it cost them that much millions of dollars and they didn't make it back, and then they had Assassin's Creed Shadows and Star Wars Outlaws essentially be a next fail, that's the three major games that this company was relying on this last year that have completely bombed, and there's no saving that. And again, I firmly believe it's because they're worried about the wrong things. We're seeing mentorship groups and programs that are kicking men out of them, like excluding men. We're seeing DEI handbooks for employees. We're seeing like all sorts of like woke bullshit that they're pandering and worried about, instead of just making great video games. Video games are meant to be fun, and instead you're focused on the wrong things. I think Ubisoft is in a lot of trouble, guys, and us talking about all these reports and these rumors and stuff aren't even scratching the surface of how bad things are over there. So very interesting little read. What do you guys think about Lee leaving Ubisoft? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for watching.